Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Santa Rosa Week. We're sitting high atop the beautiful banks of the Blackwater River in our state-of-the-art
there it is.
in our state-of-the-art studio.
Futuristic downtown studio.
I'm Jerry Cooey.
I'm Deborah Nelson.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to continue the discussion from last week with concerning Team Santa Rosa, and then we got a couple, three or four little things to hit at the end. Now, Deborah, at the end of the last show, you were saying something about a communist government.
Well, we were talking about an email from Dave Hoshang, who is the owner of Cat Country radio station. He's a member of Team Santa Rosa's board, and he objects to Team Santa Rosa being subject to Sunshine Law, and he objects to county commissioners being able to appoint people to sit on Team Santa Rosa's board.
Right. And in that, ladies and gentlemen, a 9-page letter that was sent to all board members.
Well, and I want to read two quotes again from this letter. This is something we touched on last time. We talked about how Team, to some extent, with the secrecy and the central planning, and we're responsible somehow for jobs materializing in this area. The Central Committee, the Soviet Union Central Committee, this is how they operated with the secrecy and all this other stuff. I want to read two quotes from this letter. The first is, quote, Team Santa Rosa has a tremendous track record of economic development, ED or economic development success. Why risk upsetting an organization that's bringing good paying jobs to our community to a less efficient and likely harmful structure?
Right, and you know, then there's a couple of things in that itself. Less efficient, harmful structure.
Right.
How does he know that?
He's talking about, of course, citizen oversight.
Yeah, if you have citizen oversight, it's less efficient and more harmful.
By citizen oversight, I mean that the county commissioners have a representative on the board, who would comprise a minority block, if you will, by the way. And then this is kind of a related quote later in the letter here. Team board to decide future vision. Various board members have been expressing their opinions on the future of Team. This letter is my opinion after careful consideration of the facts. Now it is up to the entire Team board to vote on what structure is best for our economic development organization, EDO, to proceed in order to succeed. What is at stake is our team's ability to continue to bring a substantial number of good-paying jobs for our community, its children and its grandchildren.
Right. And you know, and I certainly have a difference of opinion. Let's think for a moment to a big company that everybody knows. Do you think Microsoft was hatched in a Team Santa Rosa like sunshine-free, backroom door, smoke-filled room organization, or was it good old American capitalism at its best?
It was not hatched through central planning processes.
Yeah, I mean...
Neither was IBM, and neither was General Motors, etc.
When you look at the many great companies that are in the U.S. today, they had a good idea, they capitalized on that idea, they believed in their idea, and they made it happen.
Right.
And they didn't need a board taking tax dollars from citizens to make it happen.
Right, to decide where they were going to set up shop.
It's called entrepreneurship.
Right.
And there's many hundreds of examples of that in the United States today, and especially in Santa Rosa County.
Well, I mean, there's that issue, this whole somehow very heavily funded, subsidized by the public, central planning agency is necessary to bring good jobs, A. And B, there's also the issue of where are the good jobs that they've said they. I mean, honestly, where is the success? Please show me where the good-paying jobs are. You know,
we've picked up a few $7 to $9 an hour jobs.
Well, they always use an average. They always quote the average rather than the median.
And go ahead and give your speech about that.
I want to reiterate that again.
Reiterate that again for our viewers, Deborah.
The median income, which is if you lined all the salaries that exist in this county up, and you picked out the one that fell in the middle, is about $24,000 a year, according to the last census. The average is if you have 20 people that make $9 an hour, and you have Bill Gates on this end.
Making $1 million.
You've got a high average, but maybe not so representative of what the actual situation is.
And one thing, and ladies and gentlemen, this is not uncommon. This is an argument that is used over and over and over. We always talk about the average salary, not the median salary. And look, we know we're talking to the choir on this one, because you are the ones out there struggling to make your home mortgage and your insurance payment and your property taxes and all that. You know that you're making the median salary, you're not making the average salary. And I think it's very important, and always like an opportunity for you to throw that out there again.
Especially the average salary at Team Santa Rosa, which upwards of 60,000 now, would you say? 40, 50, 70, and 90.
40, 50, 70, and 90.
Yeah, at a temporary.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's good paying jobs over there at Team Santa Rosa.
Yeah, they've created a lot of good paying jobs in the economic development field.
Right. Now, there was some comments about military activities.
Well, yes. There's some thought expressed in this letter that perhaps if there was public oversight, their Sunshine Law requirements, that team members would not be able to travel to Washington, D.C. as they now do, and chat with members of the officialdom up there who control the military and the base placement and that kind of thing. That avenue somehow wouldn't be open to that.
Yeah, you know, and look, I'll probably, this may shock you when I say this. You know, I'm not gonna be such a hardliner that I'm gonna say that two people can't ride in a car somewhere.
Right.
The problem that I have with two people at team riding in a car somewhere is 6 years of non-voluntary participation in open records, 10 or more years in non-voluntary open meetings. So, you know, if you start me out at a point of trust, I'm okay with you riding in a car, being on the same airplane, in travel to go do something. But when you start me out at years of evidence of mistrust, then I'll have to take a hard line. No, I don't want two of you riding in the car together, because you're going to talk about county business.
Well, and the larger issue, I think, is that BRAC decisions have nothing to do with what local communities or local officials want or write letters about or anything like that.
It's military preparedness, and people way bigger than Santa Rosa County make those decisions.
Exactly. And, you know, they pulled quite a bit out of Pensacola. You know, none of the patriotism here made any difference whatsoever. They pulled a whole bunch of jobs out of Pensacola.
Well, I mean, you look in Mobile over the aircraft contract.
Yes.
You know, the city of Mobile spent $247 million. And I don't know if they got a thank you when it was over with. You know, it just got snatched out from underneath them. Now, I think it's a good idea that when you hear a company maybe is looking at your community, I think it's good to go embrace them. I think it would be good for our county to have a whole series of people that are dedicated to the whole process, that are officially assigned a planning and zoning, a road person, the whole 9 yards, welcome them and all that. But we spend all of our efforts on the front end trying to get something, and then you know,
and show me where the jobs are. You know, it's like the emperor's new clothes.